Good morning! Happy Wednesday! Welcome to Homebuilt Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. I hope your day is finding you well, wherever you are in this great big world of ours. I hope you're doing awesome. I want to start out by saying thank you for tuning in to this week's Wednesday Live and for all the Wednesday Lives. I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day, whatever time of day it is, to hang out here for a while, talk about shop and projects and whatever it is we always end up talking about. Always a good time. I enjoy hanging out with everyone and looking forward to today's, just like all the rest. Harry Dude's here! Harry Dude says, what's up? Hope you're well. I'm good, man. How are you? How are things in Australia? Are you guys warm in the summer weather? Hope everything is good down there. Down under. Harry Dude, do you guys say down under down there? Or is that like another country from other parts of the world? Is that a saying that they say? Neptune's is here! Neptune says, hey everyone, what's up, man? How are you this fine Wednesday morning? Robert's here! Robert says, hello there! What's up, Robert? Ralph is here! What's up, Ralph? Ralph says, hello. Or is that help? Is that a help, or is that... I always type the P instead of an O. Neptune's is cold. Well, we are too, a little bit. Although today is supposed to be a little warmer. We've been in the single digits and below zero overnight. A little chilly in here this morning. That's all right. Ralph says, not much. Right on. Donna's here. Donna. Donna says, good morning, all. Good morning, Donna. Boy, it sounds like everybody's a little bit chilly right now. Robert says, nothing much, just trying to stay warm. Yeah, me too. Hence the heavy coat. Although it's starting to warm up in here because I tried to get the heat on early. But, yeah. Right on. Harry Dude says, not a very hot summer yet. Down under is another marketing term, I think. When we say down under, we're usually referring to something else. Yeah, I get you. I get you. I will refrain from saying down under because I don't want to go that way. Atella says, may I ask where you're located? I am in the state of Colorado in the USA. In the Colorado Springs area. About, I don't know, an hour south of Denver or so. Roughly. We got some tasty hot coffee. Kind of hits the spot. Robert says, it's currently 25, but feels like 24. I don't know what we're at right now. This says we're 15. Feels like 15. Adela says, cheers, mate. Cheers to you. Harry Dude says, glad you understood that. Yes, sir. I got it. So what are you guys working on? What's on your workbenches? What kind of projects does everyone have in the works at the moment? I am right now working on, I'll show you a little bit. I forgot one of the pieces in the house, but I mentioned to you guys that I'm going to be at the Colorado Guitar Show in Luthier's Expo. Oh, that's a mouthful. It is, I believe, March 26th, I think. 26th? Whatever that Sunday is. Maybe it's the 25th, maybe the 27th, but somewhere around there. I got my table reserved. I will be up there with some of my handmade Haley guitars. And since it's, you know, a place where you can buy and sell things, I got to be able to do the mobile payment thing, right? So I have, let me see here, brush the dust off it. I have this little Bluetooth card reader thing. And while it would be super easy to just, hand somebody the thing and they can put their card in there, I thought it would be kind of a fun little thing to make, like a little wooden stand that this can sit in, and I can just slide it across the table or something like that. So I've been working on a little holder thing, technical term, that this is going to sit in here. This thing will sit on top of it, and then I've got a large base that this will go on. Just some nice black walnut, and I just thought it would be kind of a cool, totally not a necessary project, but I thought it'd look pretty cool and be a nice little touch maybe if someone decides to purchase something that I have at the show. So I'm working on this right now. I was hoping to have this all glued together last night. I've got everything shaped. I did that on the CNC machine, hollowed that out, cut everything else by hand. I was hoping to get this glued together last night. I'm gonna probably laser or carve the logo into the front of the base, but I got delayed. It's like our water went out yesterday. I don't know. The guy should be here this morning to check the well pump. I don't know what it is. We're on a well, and yeah, it was kind of an unexpected problem. So hopefully they can get that up and running pretty soon. But that delayed me because I had to spend some time trying to figure out if I could figure out what's wrong with it. So I didn't get this glued together. But as soon as we're done here, I'm going to put the logo on the base and glue this thing together, put on a nice quick finish, and should have this done by this afternoon. Fingers crossed. Unless I have to, go dig a well or something. So that is what I'm working on. Donna said, "What's the new project?" There, you're up. Hopefully, you're up to speed. Like I said, I was hoping to get this knocked out pretty quick because I have received almost all of the parts for the next guitar build that I'm going to start on. That's going to be a brand new build that I'm building for the show. Well, not specifically for the show, but so that I can have another instrument to take up there. I'm doing another cigar box guitar, and it's going to be a 3-string. But I wanted to get this knocked out because I didn't think it was going to take very long. But life. So there you go, Donna. That's what I'm working on right now. This, and then probably jumping right into cigar box guitar. Tell us, says Michael, a Michael Cullen style bandsaw box. Ooh, nice. That's something that, man, you guys always inspire me to want to get to other projects. Bandsaw box has been on my list of things to do for a little while. Like something other than just a little square box of some sort. So I'm gonna have to try to do that. Josh is here. Josh says, "Good morning, Jeff. Hope all is well. Tuning in from your neighbor up in Canada." Right on, Josh. How's things in Canada? You guys in the cold of winter? I know we're pretty chilly down this way right now, but hope you're doing great, man. Glad you're tuned in. Harry Dude says, "On site right now, working on a stage light, not responding to control. Fun." Oh, yeah, that sounds especially on site. Now, do those lights run off of like an Ethernet type cable, or do they have a special control cable that's like I think they're actually more like a microphone plug, aren't they? I don't know. I feel like I've seen both, but I could be wrong on that. I'm not a stage light expert by any means. But I believe it's that, what is it, that DMX, DXM, DMX, DFX, I don't remember what it's called, that runs it. What kind of cable do those use? Now, Neptune says, "I was called into work today. I'm normally off." Ah, man. What's up with those guys? Just tell them. Tell them that you have important stuff to do and you can't. You just can't. No, probably don't. Might not be a great idea to tell them that. Sempak and Rick's here. Sempak says, good morning, everyone. And Jeff, what's going on, Rick? Harry Dude says, make the bass guitar shaped. You know, I should have done that. Because that's a good idea. But I didn't. I don't know. I guess if I screw this up somehow, I can recut a new bass. But, yeah. Donna says, it's kind of like a square holder. Awesome. Yeah, sort of. I have this this little guy. I mainly use PayPal, so this is through the PayPal thing. It's their version of it, really. But they actually have a base that this thing attaches to, and like has a receipt printer and stuff on there. But really, for right now, this is all I need. So, yeah, just this will be kind of at an angle, so you can do your thing. And right now, the card reader's on the bottom, but it's a little bit below. I don't know if you can see this very well. I'm going to have Velcro. I'm going to put some Velcro inside here, so that's going to raise it up so that you should be able to operate this without even taking the, you don't have to take the reader out or anything. It'll just be sitting in there. But right now I don't have the Velcro in, so it sits a little low. But yeah, I think it's going to be cool. Neptune says, Harry, hit it with a hammer. Yeah, you know my favorite hammer. I don't use it all the time, which is probably good. This little guy, I don't know what this is. 2.5 pound, maybe? I can't read it. It's all dusty. Yeah, I can't see that on there. 2.5, maybe a little 3 pound guy. It's like super short. What a great little hammer this is. Mike, what's going on? Good morning. Mike says, working on cutting the cable, researching streaming services, too cold in the garage for shop work. Oh yeah, the old cutting the cable. You know, it's so easy it seems like now. Like, we don't watch very much TV at all. I watch some YouTube videos. We usually do like a weekly movie night here, but for the most part, we don't watch a lot of TV. So that was never really an issue for me. But with all the smart TVs and streaming stuff, I mean, you can get so much live TV now or they say live TV, I don't really know, but it's crazy. Just like one streaming thing will get you so many channels. For quite a while, we had one of those Amazon streaming Fire Sticks or whatever the heck they're called. And recently switched over to a Roku. I don't know much about it, really, because like I said, I don't use it very much. But man, there's so much stuff on there. And, I'm not promoting any of them in particular. But I have a smart TV as the monitor for the CNC machine. And even that came pre-installed, like with all the apps and stuff. You don't need like any sort of Roku or anything. It's nuts. It's pretty crazy. Like, I even noticed yesterday, right? So I got an update on my phone, and there's some sort of, I don't know what it is. What is that thing called? Samsung TV or something? Samsung TV Plus. I've never seen that app before, but I'm guessing it kind of installed as part of an update. I just clicked it to open it, and it's like the same shows that are on all the smart devices, TVs and Rokus and all that stuff. It's crazy. I don't know why anybody these days would really need cable or, anything like that. Even over the air. We have a powered antenna for over the air channels. And we probably get 35 over-the-air channels. Or I haven't counted them, but there's so many of them. What sort of services are you looking at? In case I may have a little tiny tidbit of information. Probably not, but I'll give it my best. Let's see. Harry Dude says, Neptunes, would love to, because I love surface mount soldering. John says, agreed, a guitar-shaped bass. Man, I wish I'd have thought of that before, because that would be pretty cool. I'll have to see if I can find another piece of walnut. I might have another piece, I don't know. That would be cool. Robert says, still trying to figure out what body design I want to do for the Crimson guitar kit I finally got. It's going to have to be a semi-hollow, since the body blank is a heavy beast. What's the wood made out of? Watch and learn! Thomas, what's up, man? Watch and learn says, good morning, Jeff. Harry Dude says, these are DMX-controlled 5-pin XLR. Yeah, that's kind of, after I said that Ethernet thing, I was thinking of that microphone style, XLR type cable. Josh said, we had a deep freeze, but it's starting to warm up. It's currently only -5 Celsius and snowing. The igloo is staying nice and warm. LOL. All is good, thank you. Right on. -5, that's what, about 20? No? 25-ish? I can't quite see my I'm trying to look at the thermometer, that's what it's called. So you're in the 20s Fahrenheit. Robert says, watch YouTube a lot more than TV these days. Yes, this same here. Neptune says, we have Roku also. There you go, another vote for Roku. Roku? I don't know how you say it. KK's here. KK says, good evening from Greece. KK's here, eager to learn more secrets from the extraordinary constructions of Jeff and his guests. We may be far away, but this show unites us. Be well always, Jeff. Thanks, man. KK, right on. From Greece. How are things in Greece? Yes, your exact comment is part of the reason that I love these lives so much. It's that we can be literally all over the world, and yet we get to hang out and enjoy a coffee or whatever you're drinking, and just hang out, chat for a while, talk about projects, learn from each other, and it's so cool. So cool. And I will continue to do these lives for that reason. I love being able to network with all of you and just hang out. It's so awesome. I wish I could take like 3 months and just travel the world and meet up with all of you and have a drink or something. It would be so cool, but until that happens, and I guess we're just gonna have to hang out this way. It's so awesome. It's so cool. My favorite part. I have learned more stuff about our great big world from you guys, and it's great. I can't say it enough. And Brian's here. See, that's what I'm talking about. Germany. Brian, you're still in Germany? Brian says, good day, everyone. Happy February. Hope all is well. Just got in from work and walking the dogs. Right on. Brian says, I'm listening to an interesting podcast, A History of Rock Music in 500 Songs. It's nice to hear the history of the music and how it started. That sounds pretty cool. I think I would enjoy that. Donna says, same. Antenna and smart TV, no cable. Yeah, I haven't had any sort of cable type subscriptions. Let's see, I used to have Dish. Remember when Dish was like the thing? Like, that was probably the early 2000s, really, when I had that last. 2003 or 4? I don't think I had it. It might have even been 2002. It was the last time I had that, and then from there I never had any subscription. I don't like the subscription stuff myself. I don't like, having that monthly thing just to be able to sit on the couch and watch TV. It's just not what I do. Donna says, extra money to flea market and make hobbies. Yeah, I hope to hit the flea market this year. I've been meaning to the last couple of years. Just wander around, find something. Find some old tools or something like that, or even find something that can be refurbished into like a new project or something like that. So that is one thing that's on my list this year, to hit the flea markets and try to find some cool old stuff. I'm going to start looking around for some different hand planes too. I want to find a number 3 Stanley, and I want to find a number 6, maybe a 7. 7's pretty big, but if I found one, I wouldn't pass it up probably. But I'm hoping maybe I can find something at the flea market, even if it needs like a new handle, a new tote, some kind of project like that. Robert says it looks like ash, or maybe what they call sycamore. Interesting. Sent Packin says, where you living, Josh? Watch and Learn says, finish those 2 guitars, starting on 2 more. Right on, man. That's awesome. That is cool. Yep. I have been browsing about locating materials for the next acoustics that I want to start on. I haven't purchased anything yet. I have one back and side set that I'm going to use. I got to find tops, and I'm going to find another set for another one that I want to make. I probably will start on those. Maybe I don't feel like I'd start on it before this guitar show, because I know I have a couple things that I need to do to get ready for the show. But maybe after that show's done, I'll start getting things rolling. Who knows? I may start earlier than that, but we'll see how it goes. Mike says, considering YouTube TV, which is cheap, we also can get 50-ish channels over the air to keep the family happy. I know what you mean. And it says, plus whatever the smart TV gets. Yeah, that's what I can't believe. Like, there's that many channels that are the smart TV channels. They're not necessarily over the air. They're still streaming of some sort, but yeah, and then all of the over the air channels. It's like I don't even see a need where you need any sort of TV type subscription. Josh says he's in BC. Watch and Learn says they sound amazing. Isn't that incredible? How I still can't believe how good mine turned out. Brian says, yep, still in Germany. Right on. Part of me wants to try to recall some of my German. I studied German for 3 years in high school. But, it's like everything. You don't use it, and you kind of forget. And I wish I still knew it a little bit more. But yeah, that was pretty cool. German is one language that I really enjoy. Robert says, the body joint is invisible except when looking at the edge. I don't have a way to weigh it, but I'm guessing it weighs close to 7 or 8 pounds. Of course, it's longer than it needs to be. Robert, can you set that on a bathroom scale? I'm wondering, or like a kitchen scale. Maybe you don't have one, and I know we have a small kitchen scale. I use it mostly for weighing packages when I'm shipping stuff out, but it seems to work decent. KK says, Jeff, we're doing well here in Greece, and I wish the same for you in America. Family, university, Telecaster constructions. I learned to copy them. And when I have time, I run to see you. Right on, brother. Oh. Dan, I should have brought him out. You're talking about Telecaster constructions, and that just got my mind going. The guitar straps, or the guitar strap that I made last weekend. I ended up making 2 more of those, kind of more as practice. And they didn't turn out, they turned out fine, totally usable, but they just didn't turn out quite as neat as the first one did. And my daughter had a wise insight as to why that may have happened, and it kind of made me stop and think about that for a minute. And she's like, well, probably because I made 2 in one day. Tried to batch them out, and I was talking about how I didn't feel it turned out quite as neat. She's like, well, it's probably because you made 2 in one day, and the other one took you a lot longer, and you spent more time on it. You were probably more careful. I'm like, you're probably right. She's wise beyond her years sometimes, I believe. Robert says, Thomas, good deal on your finished guitars. Rick says, sorry, Jeff, where in BC, Josh? I'm back down south in Harrison Hot Springs. But there's Paul. Paul says, sorry, I'm late. Okay, we can now get started with the live stream. We waited. We didn't really, Paul, but glad you made it. Mike says, how much 24/7 Deal or No Deal can you watch? Is that a channel? See, I don't even know half the channels. Brian says, come on over, we can travel and drink beer. Man, that would be incredible. That would be awesome. Germany is definitely one of the many places that I'd like to see. Don't worry. If I ever find myself in Germany, I will I will look you up. And then if I'm in Germany, I gotta go to Greece, hang out with KK. And then I gotta go. I have a buddy over in Russia. I'm gonna have to go over there. I don't know if you can. Can you do that? I don't know. Yeah, don't even go there. Italy? I gotta go to Italy? Man, I'd have to go all over the place. Robert says I don't have a scale. Oh, just build it. It'll be fine. Mr. Doughboy, says Jeff. What's up, man? Robert says, oh, by the way, the video quality of the stream today is pretty good. Oh, that is good to know. That's awesome. It must be a good day for the interwebs. The galaxies are aligned or something like that. Josh says, right on, Sandpackin'. I'm in central BC near Prince George. Atelis says, next time you're in Helsinki, Finland, beer's on me. Okay. Oh, Finland. Man. I have family of some sort. Not in Finland, but like in some of the region around Norway. I don't know exactly where, but yeah, see? Man, that'd be so fun. Neptune says, don't forget Texas. Well, yeah, I can't forget Texas. I've never been to Texas. There's several of you that I would have to come see down in Texas. Brian says, Germany's a good central location. I agree. Or we'll just throw a big party in Germany. I don't know. It's fun to think about. Oh, excuse me. Paul says, Elon Musk is granting us all a little bandwidth today. Yeah. Do any of you have that Starlink? I've been considering getting it for the speeds. I don't know. I've heard good reports on it, but it's like, I don't know, $500 or $600 to buy the hardware to get started, and then it's like $100 a month. I don't know if any of you guys have if you guys have it. Mike says, so now around the world and returning through Seattle, and we can connect. Oh yeah, start here and just go east, or would you go? No, I guess you'd go east, around, come back the other way. Yeah, because I have friends in Alaska, so I could hit Alaska and then come down the coast. Yeah, see, we can make this happen. Now I need to raise like $100,000 or something like that, or whatever that would cost. Atalia says Sweden is next to Norway. Yeah, see, we could make this happen. I could just hop across the country. Oh, to dream. Rick says, come on up to BC. We're closer. I'd have to. Man, we've just planned like the most epic. What would we call that? The maker vacation. The makecation. Just visit with everybody. Tom says, have you ever considered making a copy of Brian May's Red Special? It seems it's the most famous home-built guitar. It may be next for me when I finish my current acoustic build. Honestly, I have never, ever considered that. I've read the book where... who wrote that? I can't remember who wrote that. Where they talked a lot about him building his instrument. And it was definitely interesting, but I don't know. It hasn't been something that I've thought about recreating. For your acoustic build, what type of guitar are you making? Like a Dreadnought, OM, wood choices? We'd like to hear the details. And by we, I mean me. Brian says they have those parties in Germany every year for 3 weeks in September to October, called Oktoberfest. Yeah. I have a Stein, a German beer Stein, that came from Germany. My mom got to travel over there quite a long time ago, and she brought me back a Stein. Let's see. Paul says, if you ever get to Norway, Aristides, I probably said that wrong, and my apologies. Aristides guitars are there. They build some nice instruments. But yeah, that would be cool too to visit all of the different luthier shops and guitar factories. Mr. Doughboy says, hello everyone. Rick says, let's do a GoFundMe for Jeff. I mean, no, we don't need to do a GoFundMe. I mean, it'd be awesome. I would love to be able to travel around, but that would be a lot of money. That's a lot of airline flights. A lot of, I don't know, taxi, shuttle, bus rides, or I don't know what all it would take, but it would be a lot. Heritage says, I'd say come down under, but that might be considered rude, considering our earlier conversation. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I would love to visit Australia as well. And, yeah, it would definitely be on the list. If I were to plan some sort of epic travel thing, it would be all over the place. Henry's here. Henry says, caught it a bit late today. No worries, Henry. We're still here, man. How are you today? How are things up in Denver? Tom says it's an OM with Koa. Ooh, nice. Yep, I think my next two are going to be OMs as well. But I got a little idea that I want to try on one of them. One of them, I think I'm going to do a regular right-handed OM. And I'm going to do another one for me. Excuse me. I want to try a baritone OM. I think that would be kind of cool. Mike says, do it while you're young. Make a movie of the travels around the world in 80 days. Oops, that title was taken. Yeah. Robert says, I have a bunch of relatives living in Alaska. Had an aunt and uncle who lived there for most of their lives. They had 13 children, and most of them I have never met. See, you need to take a trip up there, too. KK says, I forgot I built a Winchester 1873 out of metal and wood based on plans I found on the internet. It was very hard because I had to convert everything from inches to centimeters. Amazing engineering. Wow, dude. Is it actually functioning and everything? It's fully functional? That's pretty incredible. Wow. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean about the conversion. You guys know the U.S. is mainly imperial based. I almost said standard, but it's our standard almost. I dare say that. And yeah, trying to convert from metric to inches is, for me, not being fully raised on the metric system. I find the metric system easy to use, but the conversion I find is a little screwy. Okay, I got a good question for you guys. Okay, let me find an example. I don't know if I have an example here. So, when I was working on the acoustic guitar, for those of you that use metric, some of the measurements in there, well, on the just take for example the scale length of my acoustic that I built is 24. No, that's not metric. 24.9 inches. Let me think of where I'm going with this. But man, that's not a good example. There were several times during that build where it said, I need to measure something that's 3.12 millimeters. How do you guys measure 3.12 millimeters? I legitimately would like to know how to do that, because there were times, I have this, I have several of these metric rulers. These are pretty awesome. These are like Russian, back in the day, made that a buddy of mine over there sent me, and I use these all the time. They have your centimeters, millimeters, your typical metric ruler. I don't know how to measure out and mark accurately 10.3 millimeters. I mean, a millimeter, when I look at it, it is so close together. Like, what would be a good tool that maybe I could get to help make those marks more accurately? And how often do you run into measurements on a project that are, it's not like, obviously the even numbers are fine. It's easy. But how do you measure the decimals and mark them accurately when accuracy really matters? And that's a legitimate question. That's not a metric imperial debate or anything like that. Like, I literally want to know how I can be more accurate with my measurements, other than just straight millimeters. Paul says, Australia's nice. Been to Sydney and Perth while in the Navy. Right on. Henry says, weather's nice up here today. I've been organizing and looking to unload a bunch of less used hand tools. You got any hand planes? I need a 3. A 3 and a 6 or 7. Or block planes too, depending. Mike says calipers. Yeah, I don't have any metric calipers, other than, well, I do have one that I can switch between inches, and it's the one digital set that I have. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, I could use those. But I'd like to know from those of you that use mainly metric, like what is common practice for you in your workshop. You need to measure super accurate. Do you actually use a set of calipers and mark off of that? Or do you have some sort of different methods? Or once you get down to the decimals, I think in most projects probably, it's not, man, I can't imagine that it's going to matter all that much for a lot of woodworking projects, but some I know it will. And there was a lot of measurements like that on the acoustic guitar. So many 3.82 millimeters. I'm like, I don't know how to measure that. So I just kind of guessed. And I mean, it worked out, but when accuracy counts. Harry Dude says, I just know that 3.12 is an 1/8 inch. You start to learn the common equivalents, especially with drill bits. 3.12, I just guessed that number. I don't even know what that... Didn't even know what that was. I've been trying to use... I have this little tape measure. And it's got inches and millimeters on it. I've been trying to use that more. Like, I even glued some magnets to the back so that it just sits right there, and I can always grab it. This has been my main one. It's only a 2-meter tape, but just to try to start to build that relationship between an inch and 24, 25 point whatever millimeters. But I don't know, it just doesn't seem to. I instinctively go to the inch. I don't look directly at the millimeters. But that was my thought with this. I can start to, get that in my brain a little more. Because I mainly use inches here in my shop. But I know that the majority of the world, and again, I'm not debating one over the other. I did that in a video a year or two ago, and there's still comments just galore on that. And yeah, I want to get better with my measuring. Robert says I have to use the conversion calculators online to figure out comparable measurements. I have to do that too, unfortunately. I mean, it's an option, and it definitely can get you out of a jam. But I would like to not understand it more. I totally understand the metric system, but just getting those super fine marks. Hairdude says accuracy is calipers, if you really want to get technical. Henry says having to deal with imperial and metric is the worst for this, as well with tools. Yeah, for the smaller measurements, I recommend the calipers that can round numbers. They can round to 32nd or okay. Rick says I'm just now starting to use metric, and it's been our system here in Canada for years. KK says, example, barrel length 20 inches equals 50.8 total length. 39 is 99.06, and so on, but I did it. So, KK, for the 99.06, how do you measure that? Literally. This is a 99, well, I guess that'd be what, 100 millimeter? No, 100 centimeter. Let's see. 100 centimeter ruler. Great big long, super cool. It's a 100 centimeter ruler. How would you measure 99.09? When something like that project, I would imagine that it's pretty critical. Right? So I can measure 99.1. Do you just guess it? I mean, I don't know. Paul says, I have a dual tape measure with millimeters and inches. Yeah, same here. Henry says, marking gauges are key. Doesn't matter if it's exactly 1.08, just needs to be consistent. That's a fair point, too. Yeah, I could see that. Neptune says, I'd like to find some high-quality files. What kind of files? Stop playing with stuff. I almost smacked myself with that ruler. What kind of files are you looking for? Robert says, is KK working on, is the rifle a working gun or a wall hanger? Yeah, that was my question. If it's fully functioning or if it's like a replica thing or something. I don't know. Mike says, actually, I was watching a show that was visiting the National Institute of Standards, and in fact, the U.S. is metric, but we apply conversions to get imperial measures and use them in everything we do. I've heard stuff about that, but I haven't learned enough on that history there. It's like a lot of people pointed out, I mentioned that video that I did a year or two ago, maybe 3, I don't know. A lot of people pointed out that, well, the American money system is metric, which is 10 based. I guess I could see that. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not debating one or the other. I know that a lot of us in the U.S. are mainly imperial based. But like I said, I have been trying to get better on my metric because I do feel that it's easier. It's just harder for my brain to grasp it. If that makes sense. Because I'm so rooted in the imperial system because that's what we're taught, right? For the most part. But trying to get my brain to grasp this other metric, to at least be able to use it. KK says, oh, it's for the wall. Okay, still awesome. That's so cool, man. You'll have to shoot me an email with pictures or something. I'd love to see it. Neptune says, I would like to use metric more. Most of my machine tools are imperial, though. Yes, that's kind of what I'm saying. A lot of our things here are, we're so deeply rooted in imperial that it's hard. It really is, unless you start buying everything literally in metric. If a lot of our lumber is in an inch, it's not 25.4 millimeters or whatever, 18 millimeters. You can buy it, but if you just go to the store, most likely it's going to be in, an inch or 3/4 of an inch, which I believe is 18 millimeters. Yeah, it's really a challenge. Harry Dude says, the key number is 25.4. 1 inch is 25.4. Calculator on the computer in the work. Oh, I kicked you. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah. But I would like to... I don't know. I don't know how you could not use those calculators in your workflow with so many of the tools being imperial based, drill bits, all that sort of thing. Yes, I know you can buy metric drill bits, and actually I might do that. I might buy a set of metric twist drills, like brad point bits. I have a pretty decent set of standard brad point bits, but I might want to try that. I do have metric Forstner bits because I need those for a few things when doing guitars. But yeah, it's hard to not have to use the conversions. I wish I could understand it. I wish I could get, what's the word? I can't think of the word. I wish I could get enough of the skills to be able to not need to rely on those conversions. Yeah, 25.4. You like multiply something. I just do the math. I'll look it up, inches to millimeters. Robert says the thing calipers will have to be used. I think calipers will have to be used to metric measurements simply because the differences are so small. The thickness of the pencil lead will make a difference. Absolutely, 100% agree with you on that. And that was part of the reason of my question. Right? If I mark off 20.5 millimeters, right? I can pretty well eyeball that on the line, in between the two lines, if I use like a fine tip mechanical pencil. But really, the pencil width could be 20. If I mark off 20.5 millimeters, the pencil width could really, it's like a millimeter wide. Sorry, I lost where we were in the comments. Let's see. Where'd we go here? Okay. Yeah, Robert's caliper. KK says, yes, I have the measure too, but when you have to build the mechanism, the small parts, you have to work on special scales. Tell me more. Is there another scale for the fine measurements? Is there a scale smaller than millimeters? I'm sure there is, but is that even a thing? Interesting. KK, what do you mean the smaller scales? Robert says, still a feat to build. Yes, I agree. Mike says, divide by 25.4 to convert millimeters to inches. Hairdude says it's annoying when most tooling, router bits, etc. come in imperial, but I prefer metric. I have to work in both when setting up guitars. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. It's, you know, I tried to use as much metric measurements when building the acoustic as I could. Like the nut width is 43 millimeters. I forget what it is down at the other end, 46 or 7. I don't remember. You know, so I tried to do everything in millimeters. The measurements for the bracelet, everything I measured in millimeters that I could. And then it comes to setting it up, and you set it up to the thousandth of an inch. Which is what I don't even know what standard is, to 1.5 millimeters maybe, or something like that. But yeah, you have to use both, and I kind of wish that wasn't the thing. Brian says the fractions of a millimeter are so small, just air on the higher end and sand down to fit. I like that. I don't feel that, it's very small. So that's why I was asking, like, does it matter? And if it doesn't matter, if that, okay, here's what I was going to say. And I was going to say, if that 6/10 of a millimeter matters, for like a 25.4 versus 26, right? It's 3/5. 6/10 under 26. I'm confusing myself now. I got to stop. But yeah, Brian, I agree with that. You sand it down. But then how do you know when you sanded too far? How do you measure it? Neptune says, find lathe files for various sizes. I'm not sure what sort of files that would be, like a needle file set? That kind of deal? Robert says, or KK, whoops. KK says, indeed, but it's a fantastic, beautiful weapon. Yeah, Donna's laughing. Mike says, 99.06 is 3.9 inches. Now, let's not talk about stones, furlongs, hands, shillings, board feet, nominal. Yeah, don't go there. Don't do it. It's just going to get worse. Tellis says, I mainly use digital caliper and metric. Sometimes on longer distances, I use a tape measure. Accuracy comes on how you mark. Normal pencils can be a little dull and inaccurate. I mainly use a marking knife. That's a good point. I don't often use a marking knife. I made one several years ago from an old planer blade with the intent... Almost fell out of the chair. I made this guy a while back. He's not great, but he is nice and sharp, and he does mark a nice line. This was from some flame maple. Old planer blade, ground down. And this one didn't work out as well as I was hoping because the blade is only hard on the end, which kind of threw me for a loop. No, this was a joiner blade, not a planer blade. But yeah, I do have a marking knife. I probably ought to leave this out. That way I could maybe use it more. It's a good idea. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm gonna find a spot to put this out. Let's see. Henry says, I'd say save your brain, and for stuff that needs to be that precise, use a CNC. Fair. Totally a fair argument. And that's why I used the project I'm working on, Henry. I don't think you were in here, as a little holder for my little card reader that I'm going to have at the guitar show in Denver. Henry, you should come out in March. I measured this out and cut it on the CNC so that it would fit well. Yes, I could have 3D printed or made a custom template and tried to route it out, but I probably spent more time designing it than I would have done it by hand. But that's because I'm not 100% fluent. I'm fluent on the drawing. It's just the running the G-code program that I'm still working on. Mike says, but the width of a pencil line is thicker than the accuracy of your measure. Yeah, agreed. Harry Dude says, you could always put up a chart of the most common measurements, converted millimeters to inches and inches fractions to millimeters. There's 2 of them right up there. I'm never going to be able to get this back up there, but yeah. I have, you probably can't read it, but I have this chart here. It has inch fractions, inch decimals, millimeters. It has all of the conversion charts here, centimeters to feet, inches to millimeters, inches to centimeters. It goes all the way from 0.1 millimeter up to 25.4, up to an inch. So we're at 0.003937 all the way up to 1 inch. I use this thing almost daily. Yeah, and there's another one up there that is pretty much the same, but I find myself going to this one more, and yeah, I use it a lot. It really helps me. Henry says, if your laser is long enough, make a custom ruler for the measurement you need. Yeah, I thought about that, trying to do some custom tools like that. Oh, 99.45 centimeter would be stupid. Yeah. Sorry, that was my fault. I don't know why I was demonstrating centimeters. Yes, I agree with you 100% on that. Mike says, build a table in Excel, for example, in fretboards. Yeah, then you can measure. Rick says, sharpen your pencil. Not to change the subject, but I have a question for those that use mechanical pencils. How do you sharpen the lead? I use sandpaper. Rick, you're going to get me started on mechanical pencils. There's no lead in that one. But I personally, I have a love-hate relationship with these. I like how fine tip this gets. I don't know if this says on here. I can't find the lead for it. Is that 0.5 millimeter? Half a millimeter? Is that what that means? Maybe? See, even this is metric. I like how fine the tip can get. Always breaks and drives me nuts. I don't know where the other one is. And I got to find the lead. But I don't ever sharpen it. Is that even a thing? That's why it's a mechanical pencil, so I can just go click, click. Okay, it's sharp. Maybe that's my problem. I'm always using the factory size. Hair Dude says he uses pencils with 0.5 lead. Yeah, that's what this is. I need to get some more, though. Robert says a lot of woodworkers use marking knives, since the edge of the knife is always going to be finer than a pencil lead. Yeah, that's a very valid point. KK says I had to assemble the mechanical parts with the proper metric placement. I did this piece by piece through photos sent to me by friends from America. Difficult when it's made of metal. Yeah, metal's a lot harder to sand down to fit. Paul says, impressive. You made it years ago and knew exactly where in your shop it was. Right on, Paul. Mainly because this drawer that it's in is my main drawer. I have all my measuring, all my layout tools. I thought I had pencil lead in there. Like all that kind of stuff. Longer rules and things are always in there. So I'm always in that drawer and I always see it. It's kind of laying at the back. Paul says, out of here. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Right on, Paul. Have a good one, man. Thanks for tuning in. Right on. He gives that wah. Gives the horns. Robert says, I've seen most marking knives seem to have a bevel on one side so the flat side can be placed right up to the straight edge. Correct. I didn't do that on this one because once I got this all put together, I realized that the actual hard tip of the blade was basically on the opposite side that I thought it was. So I ended up having to grind this a little bit different, which I didn't do a very good job now that I'm looking at it. But yes, they're only beveled. It's a single bevel, so you can ride right along your piece. So maybe I just ought to make a new one of these days too. Neptune said, "Later, Paul." Right on. KK says, "I wish the best for everyone. Jeff, be well, my friend. I learned a lot from you, political scientists, and you make me an engineer." See you, brothers. Right on, man. I don't know about an engineer, but I will always try my best to help wherever I can. So if you need to reach out, feel free, man. You take care over there. Tell everyone in Greece hello. Robert said, "Stay safe and healthy, Paul." Henry said, "Last thought, for mechanical pencils, check out the Pentel Sharp P200 or graph gears. They have a metal shaft that keeps lead from breaking. Game changer." Okay, have a great day, guys. I'm going to look those up as soon as we're done, because if it does better than these, I would be impressed. Well, it doesn't take much to do better than these. I like the pencil. You know, it's got this kind of stainless body, but I don't know. Rick said, "Have a great day, everyone. I'm back to wiring up a guitar that I want to sell." Right on. I got one I got to get listed on the website. Got one I'm going to try to get rid of. Did I say on the website? It's not going on the website. It's going on Marketplace. It's not a Haley Guitars. It's just one of my old ones that I'm going to probably sell. Mike says, "Need the jet. Take care." Right on, guys. You guys take a second, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button before you scoot on out of here. I'm going to wrap this up here pretty quick as well. But, yeah. It is that time. I need to see if they got our water working. What a drag. And I got to finish this stand. I got to get this thing done so I can edit the video, so you guys have something to watch this weekend. Because there's nothing else on YouTube to watch, right? It's just that. No. Right on, guys. I would think we will wrap it up right there. I want to say thanks you. Thanks you? Jeez, I can't even talk. I want to say thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Again, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And, yeah. Hope you guys are all doing great. Make sure you get some time to get out in your shops and make some cool stuff. Make some cool things. Whatever it is. Harry Dude says, "Stay well, folks. Got to pack and go home." Right on, man. Have a good one. Safe travels home. Neptunes, later, everyone. Tell us, inches are easy. Metric is easier. Problem comes when you're combining them. Just stick to one and life is good. I 100% agree with you. It's when you're trying to mix things. That's when it gets screwy. One last thought on that is, like I said, here, when you buy tools, a lot of times they're in imperial. And if you're mainly working in metric, now you're mixing imperial and metric, and even if you try not to, it's hard. It really is. Let's see. Robert says, "I have some Graph Gear 1000 that are 0.9 lead. They have a clicker to retract the lead when not using it." That's kind of cool. I think I want one with the 0.5 millimeter. These are 0.5s, and I really like that fine tip. Sunpacker says, "Good luck with the button." Right on, guys. Thanks again. Stay safe. Stay well. Like I said, I hope you get out in your shops and you're able to make some things. Enjoy it. It's good stuff. Good for the soul. And, alrighty, guys. Well, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get back to it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Stay safe. Later. And look at that. I clicked the button. And it didn't end. Oh, but look, Harry Dude said you can always retract the lead by click and push. Yeah. Later, guys.